Eight biggest takeaways from Sunday's NCAA Tournament games. 4 days and 2 rounds are in the books, and the NCAA Tournament has left us with more questions than jaw-dropping moments. The second round, especially Sunday, provided more close games, but not much outside the expected. The top teams in the nation have stepped into the Sweet 16. Sunday's action. 1. Duke's flaws exposed. Anyone thinking Duke would strut to the Final Four untouched was proven wrong on the first weekend of tournament play, as on Sunday. In the game's Final Four, it was a brutal missed opportunity. Senior center for Duke, on the other hand, the game showcased the Blue Devils' flaws. Focused any future opponent saw a potential blueprint. Sell out to stop. 2. The bracket sticks. After 2 rounds of tournament play, we have not seen many surprises. Cinderella. The Sweet 16 includes 15 schools from power conferences, with top-seeded Gonzaga being the only mid-major moving on. That number counts. All 4 of the NOS 1, 2, and 3 seeds advanced this weekend, and 2 of the number 4 seeds joined them. The only double-digit. This March marks the only time other than 2009 that all of the top 12 teams advanced to the Sweet 16, since the tournament expanded to its current format in 1985. 3. Tennessee almost. The first game of the day ended up being a great one, despite Tennessee jumping out to a 25-point first-half lead. The Vols began to. The game will be best remembered for a late coaching decision by Rick Barnes. Admiral Schofield then began overtime on the bench, staying there for the entire 5-minute extra period. Post-game, against Purdue in the next round or another contender down the road in this tournament, this kind of head-scratching decision could send the Vols back to Knoxville. 4. Top of the ACC. All 5 of the top teams in the ACC have advanced to the Sweet 16, the most of any conference. That was expected. Duke faced the toughest test of any ACC club, barely sneaking past UF. Even though the other 2 ACC teams advancing have been among the most impressive in the tournament. Florida State. 5. Texas Tech. Buffalo earned a lot of praise as a team that could defend at an elite level. In the Bulls' second on Sunday, Buffalo's high-speed offensive attack was absolutely smothered by the Red Raiders. The Bulls managed to. 6. Oregon is on a march. The Ducks are pulling off something rarely seen in college basketball. When ball went. Since then, the Ducks haven't lost. Oregon has now. Whatever has changed, it has turned the Ducks into an entirely different team. Nothing about the Ducks. 7. Virginia has. The Cavaliers have a long way to go before Tony Bennett, his players, and their fans are pleased with this season, but after the way Virginia ended its season last year, a strong first weekend was an absolute must. Even though Virginia played its way and earned 2 hard-fought, but relatively easy victories. The Cavaliers. 8. Tons of NBA. For those of you just watching college basketball to scout NBA prospects, you will not be disappointed next weekend. Although we lost, Duke's trio of Williamson, Barrett, and Cam Reddish catch most of the attention, but their teammate Trey Jones could work his way toward the middle of the first round with a strong tournament. Duke will face Gonzaga's Rui Hachimura and Brandon Clark are both surefire first-rounders with a chance to rise. Florida State's. The most eyes may be on Kentucky's P.J. Washington, who has not played yet in the tournament with a foot injury. Along Shane McNichol covers college basketball and the NBA for Larry Brown Sports. He also blogs. Related slideshow Best of NCAA Tournament provided by Iman.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.